The time is now to architect a life of excellence. What will we do? Who will we become? We decide today. This is Learn, Do, Become Radio with April and Eric Perry. Let's move onward and upward together.
Hello and Happy New Year from Learn, Do, Become. I'm April Perry, and today I am very excited to kick off the new year with a couple of simple ideas that can help you to get out of the overwhelm and feel really excited about all the opportunity that is ahead. Now, if you are like me, you have had a lot of holiday time with family and parties and excitement, and maybe you're at that point right now where you're thinking, let me just get out of all the clutter, let's get back into a routine, and let's get ready to make this year amazing. Because I know sometimes there's a little voice in the back of our heads that says, this year I'm going to have the same challenges I had last year, and it's going to be difficult, and it might not work out how I want, but I promise you, there is a higher power that wants this year to be wonderful for us. And I know that as we work together, we can realize that. So today I'm just sharing a couple of ideas that have really helped me over the past week or so. These are things that I'm doing. And so I thought I would just record a quick podcast for you to share these things. And then hopefully they can have the same impact on your life. So the two things that I've been doing lately are getting my emails back into shape and getting my mind ready for a year of growth and joy. So I'm just going to walk through those two things and give you some simple links where you can go if you want to use the resources that I've been using. And then we've got a whole year ahead of us of a lot of fun and growth and progress. And I'm so giddy, I can hardly even talk about it without having a huge smile on my face. Okay, so number one, and wait, let me just pause for a second though. I don't always just have a huge smile on my face. I've been working really in a focused way, very diligently over the past several years, but really over the past couple of months to learn how to change my inner dialogue so that it lifts me and propels me towards things that are going to serve me and my family and the broader world. It's not easy for me, and I just want to let you know I'm not just happy, giddy, no problems. I'm just learning how there's always a solution and there's always help. And so that's what I hope to bring to the table this year more and more for you. One other thing I just want to note is at Learn to Become, we've been around for a few years now. But at our last leadership retreat, we got really focused with what the mission is of Learn, Do, Become. What is it we actually do? So if you're brand new, I just want to share it with you. I shared it, I think, a little bit on the last podcast. But we help people who are drowning in the details of life to build simple systems within a supportive community so they can do what matters most, both personally and professionally. If you feel overwhelmed with life, we're here to help you to change that. Eric and I run this website together. We have an amazing team. We have 4 children, and life is not always smooth. It's like never smooth, but it's wonderful, and we're excited to be able to share the things that we're doing moving forward. Okay, so the two things we're going to be sharing, getting the emails back in shape and getting our minds ready for growth and joy in the new year. Okay, with the emails come in all the time, and I'm signed up for a whole lot of things because I'm a learner, probably like you, right? I like to listen to podcasts. I like to sign up for free resources online. I like to be in the know. I like to be up to date on things that are going on, but that can get extremely overwhelming if you don't have a system. Now, we have a system that I learned partially from David Allen at Getting Things Done, and then I've kind of tweaked it and made it work more for me and my family and our business and things like that. But I spruced up my email inbox recently, just going through the same steps that I always go through, kind of getting back in there, getting caught up. And then I also put a brand new background on my Gmail, which is so fun. We're going to post a picture of it with our show notes. So go there if you want to see it with little instructions on how to do that. Oh my goodness, it's so fun. Okay, so here's just a brief overview though of what it looks like to get your emails in shape. Because I know sometimes when I say that, people think, I have so many emails, I have thousands, I have no idea what to do, and I don't even want to try tackling them because I just know I'm going to fail. Sometimes people say that or think that. So I'm just going to review briefly what the 5 steps are to get your emails in order, and I'll just share a little update on what I did, okay? But to prepare you for those steps, I want to give you a little more about why this is important. Because a lot of people say, I don't need my emails organized, or it doesn't bother me, or it would be too much hassle. And that may be true. There is no law that says that you have to have your emails at 0. A lot of my family and friends just really don't worry about it. And that's fine if that's legitimately the case. However, here are a few additional reasons to consider for going to inbox 0. First, it's an easy win that will give you a lift. It is honestly just as easy for me to process my emails and keep them at 0 as it is to just scan and then leave them there in the inbox and then go back and try to find them and that kind of thing. Really, it doesn't take any more time. In fact, I think it actually saves a lot of time. And then when you open your email inbox, you feel like, wow, I'm at least on top of one part of my life. Okay, number 2. It trains your brain to process and not just collect. Because one of the things I've noticed is that in my life, whenever I'll just let the emails go, oh, it's not that big of a deal, I don't need to process. I'm also doing that in other areas of my life. What's in my email inbox will also reflect what's in my mind, what's written down in my day planner, what's on my kitchen counter. It's a general attitude of, I don't want to take the effort to think about it right now. I'll just wait and deal with it later. And that is the attitude that ends up creating piles and stress that then I have to pay for later. So learning how to say, no, I'm just going to process this as it comes in, that's going to actually give you a lot more freedom in the future. Number 3, then when that important email does come in, that timely invitation, that awesome networking opportunity, that really important email about an event your child is going to be part of or something like that. When that important email does come in, then you'll feel confident knowing that your mind can rest because you have a system. When something important comes in, I don't have to think, oh, wait, let me make sure I remember that. I just know, okay, this is going into immediate action and I will process that before the end of the day, or at least by the time, the deadline's going to hit because I have it noted in my calendar, okay? And number 4, getting emails to 0 is a forcing function for you to decide what matters and what doesn't. You know, when you read a book that you love and you think, oh, this is so awesome, I want to highlight the whole book. Well, if you highlight the whole book, then really nothing is highlighted. If you just look at every email and leave all of them in your inbox, it's like none of them are important to you. So learning how to filter and process those that really aren't important and how to highlight and designate a very special place for those that are important, it helps you to be able to decide what matters so you don't feel like you're just living in a whole bunch of stuff. If you think about the home of a hoarder, or I think about my bedroom when I was growing up, just piles and piles and piles. And I would walk in and I couldn't even tell what was important to me because everything was just there in a heap. And my desk pile of all my clothes, I didn't want to hang up in my closet, so I just pile them up on top of my chair. And then I never even used my desk. I just used it to store things. And I couldn't even sit on my floor and play with my nieces or nephews when they would come over because it was just a mess. Once I learned how to clean, once I learned how to create space and create order, it helped me to be able to really decide and declare, hey, here is what's important to me. So I hope that these things will be helpful for you. And now I'm going to take you to the 5 steps of the video tutorial. If you want to follow along while I'm sharing this, you can go to learndobecome.com/inbox-0, ZERO, and you can sign up. If you're already a member of Learn to Become and you already have access, just go to your access page. Okay. But step 1 is where we just help you create a few really simple folders for immediate action, a little tickler folder, which are emails you'll need to reference at a specific time, and a to sort folder. So we show you how to do that. It's really easy. Then in step 2, we encourage you to utilize unroll.me. I love this free service. I use it every day. I get a little roll up. I skim through my emails. That enables me to stay up to date and in the know, but it doesn't overwhelm my email inbox with constant emails and newsletters and things like that. But one thing I do want to say is as you're doing unroll.me, I want you to keep the learn, do, become emails in your inbox. Don't roll those up because I want these to be so important to you and so valuable that there's no way you'd want to miss them. And then if anything ever happens where you're thinking, oh, I don't really need these emails anymore, I want you to actually reply and let us know why, because we're here to serve you and want to take good care of you. Okay, just a little note on that. Step 3, we help you then go through the last, 100 emails or last 30 days, and you move any really important emails that still require action into your immediate action folder. That's really easy. Then all you have to do is move all of that other mail that's sitting in your inbox that doesn't require action to a to sort folder. We talked about what you can do with that, when you could sort it, if you have to sort it, etc. And then we have step 5. There's 4 main rules to keep your emails at 0. First is utilizing that 2-minute rule. If it takes 2 minutes or less, you just do it. You don't let the email sit. You check your immediate action folder at the end of every day. Like you're working through it during the day, but you check it every day to make sure before you go to bed at night, you haven't forgotten something really important. There's a fine that's going to be charged tomorrow or whatever. You want to make sure you can sleep well by having all those urgent things done. You use your tickler folder to hold any calendar related emails. So you don't have emails just sitting in your inbox waiting for you to keep reviewing them over and over and over again. Instead, you link your calendar with those emails that you have in your tickler. And then you just assign emails as they come to the appropriate folder, the appropriate place. You just maintain that. Really fun. We actually have 5 little simple videos and a couple bonus videos in that resource. And it's so easy and freeing to do this. So if you haven't done it yet, go to learndobecome.com/inbox-0, ZERO. I hope that you'll love that. And I know it probably seems weird and you're thinking, April, is it really going to change my life to get and keep my emails at 0? Yes, it does change your life. It is awesome. And if you can do a little background image on Gmail, if you use that, they let you change themes. It is like opening up a bouquet of flowers, a surprise gift, something like that. Every time you open your email, it's beautiful. And so that's the way I like to think about my email. It's a whole bunch of presents coming to me and I get to choose to do with them what I would like. A little side note though, before we move into number 2. I've been thinking a lot about my personal mission. What is it I want to say with my life? Where do I want to use my time? Where does God want me to use my time? What kind of legacy do I want to leave for my family? What do I feel like I can uniquely contribute to the world? I mean, these are questions that I'm hopeful that all of us are thinking about, if not on a daily basis, at least, a weekly or monthly basis. And one of the things I've realized is that I've been really holding back on my mission to truly help people to get out of the overwhelm. Now, I know it probably sounds weird for me to say that because I'm doing a podcast and we have hundreds of thousands of people who've come through our training and we do a lot to help people get out of the overwhelm. But I feel like my mission is calling me. Do you ever feel that way where it's this bigger mission, this bigger vision, and I just feel like I need to stand up and do more, not necessarily moving faster and having more on my task list, but being braver and making decisions that have a greater impact. It even kind of scares me to think about it. But there's an awesome member of our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, our community, named Nicole. And I'm hopeful I get to a podcast with her soon, but this is what she posted in our Facebook group. She said, "Yesterday I carpooled with my husband, and while driving home, he said he had invited his cousin, her husband, and 4 kids over to dinner at our house. They were driving through Phoenix on their way to Texas and didn't think they would have time to stop, but were ahead of schedule. I responded, 'Fun, we haven't seen them in forever.' And then it hit me. A year ago, I would have completely freaked out. I would have had to rush inside and start frantically sticking piles of paper and random clutter in our spare bedroom. I would have completely closed off the master bedroom, screamed at my boys to pick up their rooms, and would have had to tackle the kitchen. I would be so anxious and exhausted by the time they arrived that I would be a wreck and probably look the way I felt. I would not have enjoyed the visit, And by the time they left, I would have felt like a total failure. Okay, now I have to pause here for a second because that is how I grew up. Now, I wasn't the mom and I wasn't really feeling like a failure, but anytime someone came over, it was a mad dash to clean and it was embarrassment and it was a hope they didn't have to go use the restroom because they have to walk down the hallway, but we'd have to make sure the doors were closed to the bedrooms. Like, I know that panic. That is how I grew up. Okay. And my mom, oh, my poor mom, we didn't ever invite anyone over last minute because she would have freaked out. Like, that wasn't comfortable for any of us. We didn't mean to live in piles. We just, we did. It was how it was. Okay, but here's what she said. This is back to Nicole. Not anymore. I've had the STEP program for over a year. My house was clean and neat. My command center works and our family routines keep it on track. My boys do their morning contributions and that keeps their rooms organized. So last night, my husband grabbed some pizza. We had a great night sharing family stories. Now, I still have projects like tackling my crazy garage and cleaning out my closet, but I know I can do them. I just wanted to post this milestone because it really was such a 180 in a short period of time. I am still a work in progress, but this was a true victory. Ah! Oh my goodness. Okay, just made me so happy. And I'm not trying to turn this podcast into a testimonial for our program. While I love our program and I want everyone in the world to do it, I also feel a calling to speak more about ideas, tips, strategies behind the scenes, like sharing with people how to process papers, ideas, goals, projects, how you actually make things happen. Because what I'm noticing is there are a lot of people who are excited to make things happen, but actually doing it, especially when you have a family, often feels really hard. So whether you join a paid program or whether you're just here with us at Learn to Become, taking part in the podcast and the free things that we have to offer, I want to help our whole community to move forward because I know what a relief it is to finally be able to wake up and have things clear and beautiful and not necessarily fancy or decorated, but to feel like I am on my game. And that's how I want you to feel. If you are brand new and you're thinking, what is this program? What are you doing? LearnDoBecome.com/step. You can jump in there and we'll show you. We have had thousands of people join us just in the last few days. The beginning of the year, people get really excited to get organized. Holy cow, I've kind of gotten like a little nervous every time I open it up and see we have like literally thousands and thousands of people coming in, and I want to do a better job serving. Okay. All right, we're going to move on now, but just a little note there because if you don't need to get organized and you don't like to talk about organization, you probably don't want to hang around with me this year because I'm going to be talking about that a lot. But if you do think, oh, it really helps to be able to get my mind healthy, my home healthy, my space healthy, and then be able to actually think about these bigger things like my personal mission and the legacy I'm leaving my family and all that, then we want you to be here and you'll want to be here. All right, so the second thing, after I got my email inbox spruced up and now that I'm feeling excited about that, number 2 is I'm really working to get my mind ready for growth and joy in the coming year. I've been getting a lot of coaching with Eric. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching over the last few years, and we've spent hours of time reading great books and listening to audio programs and talking with each other through a whole lot of issues that we need to figure out, because we're always talking about things, whether it's, hey, how are we going to organize the paper plates and paper napkins in the kitchen? That's what we talked about yesterday. So we're trying to organize things for guests. But then we're talking about bigger things like, how do we help this particular child with this particular problem? Or how do we set up our business so it really utilizes both of our strengths and doesn't cause stress, right? There's a lot of things that we've needed to talk about. And I found that there is more positive effect on my life, my family, my business, when I have the right mindset than if I just have lists in order. Because your mindset impacts what you write on those lists. It impacts which projects you choose, right? Now, the book that I'm reading right now, I read about 10, 15 years ago, but I'm rereading it and loving it because, I'm a new person now than I was 10 or 15 years ago. It's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, it's now in the public domain, which is exciting because that means there's a YouTube link where I've been listening to the audiobook on YouTube. It also means you can get the free PDF. You can load it to your Kindle app. You can have this book totally free. You don't have to go to the library. You don't have to go to a bookstore. You don't have to buy it on Amazon. Although we do buy a lot of books on Amazon. You don't have to do with this one. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This is an amazing book. And it's like less than an hour's read. It's quick and it's powerful. And honestly, as I'm reading through this and listening to it, I feel like my spirit's lifting and I feel like my vision's expanding and I feel more confident in who I am and in my capacity to make decisions this year that will make this year wonderful. Now, one concept I learned from the book this morning is that life is like a kaleidoscope. Now, a lot of you probably had a kaleidoscope when you were little, and it was so fun to look through it and change the pictures. I haven't actually looked through a kaleidoscope for a long time. Maybe my children brought one home from a birthday party or something like that, but a true, beautiful kaleidoscope, I loved them. Okay, but what James Allen taught is that as you shift your thinking, you can actually transform the picture that you see. Okay, let that sink in for a second. Let's say you wake up in the morning with one picture of, I'm this, I'm that, the day is this, the day is that, my family is this, I'm a victim, whatever, right? You can wake up with that. But as you learn to change your thoughts, it's like shifting that kaleidoscope. And then you have a beautiful image of what's available to you and your capacity that day. And that's why I feel like morning time with God is so important to me, because I feel like I know that God has the power to help me shift like that little kaleidoscope and show me something beautiful and show me something glorious. And I want each of you to be able to feel that too about your own life. Most of the time when I jump on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I see, the highlight reel we talk about all the time. But then when I meet with my friends in person, then you find out what's actually going on behind the scenes. Not everything that's bad or hard, but, things that are happening within a marriage or finances or with children or maybe some depression or something. And in fact, as I was talking with some friends of ours in our community about their past year, multiple people said, last year was really hard for me. And I didn't know. They looked great whenever I saw them. But most people are going through something hard. In fact, I did hear that one time. If you treat everybody as though they're going through something hard, you'll be right most of the time. And I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I've been there. And I don't often let people know when things are hard. But I appreciate it when people realize that. Okay, I kind of got off on a tangent. But I'm hopeful that as you look at your life ahead, that you can learn how to shift your thinking and be able to see how much you have to contribute to the world with your experience and your heart and your love and your wisdom. There's so much available to you. Okay, so I hope that has excited you to want to go read As a Man Thinketh. It's amazing. And in fact, yesterday I was talking with Eric and said, holy cow, this book is so good, because he bought the book and I read his copy, back in the day. And he said, April, did you know that I've actually put together like an entire program about As a Man Thinketh? I mean, not something necessarily that we're planning to sell, but something we might have pieces of in our new Arise membership that's coming. And I said, no, you have a whole program on this? And he opened it up and he's taken each section of the book and he put certain quotes together and he has reflection questions. And that's why he's my soulmate. It was awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to start talking a little bit more about that. He's at a meeting this morning, so we're not on the podcast together, but I just wanted to be able to let you know about that. Okay, so I hope that these ideas are helpful for you today. Really, as I'm thinking about the coming year, I have made a commitment to come alive at Learn, Do, Become. There's kind of a long story behind the decision. I've kind of alluded to it in the past, but in essence, I've really been afraid to share my heart and my mind publicly over the past few years. Oh, a lot of reasons. But it's time to change that. I love this community. And while I know sometimes as I'm sharing things in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, was that dumb? Oh, should I cut that out? I'm like self-editing as I'm going through. I finally feel safe in making a deeper effort to support you. Though, as I was even like typing this outline, my fingers were shaking. And as I'm even sharing it now, my heart's beating fast because I'm thinking it's so much easier to shrink. It's so much easier in some ways to just not try, to not put yourself out there, to just kind of hold back and stay quiet. Like that is way easier for me. But as I've been thinking about my life, and as I hope you're thinking about your life, and as I was looking at all the beautiful comments that came in on that podcast I recorded 2 podcasts ago about being what we believe, the things that you guys shared, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Because, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to, I don't remember what episode it was, but go to learntobecome.com/podcast. And you can see all of our podcast episodes. And 2 podcasts ago was about being what we believe. And I just kind of opened my heart and shared a little bit about what was going on. And we got so many beautiful comments coming back from people in the community who can relate and who understand and who are ready to move forward and to do similarly. I honestly love this community and feel so, so privileged to be here with you. Now, before I close this part of the podcast, I want to share just a few more quotes from the book that I've loved that I hope will excite you and lift you. So even if you don't get around to reading this book right now, you'll at least have a few more thoughts. I'm holding the book in front of me and I've put a few Post-it notes in here to mark some of the quotes that I love. So I'll just go ahead and read these. Okay, this one is from page 8. It says, "Just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts, and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. By pursuing this process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life." Love that one. Okay, another one. This is from page 27. "But to think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to patiently learn to find the good in all. Such unselfish thoughts are the very portals of heaven, and to dwell day by day in thoughts of peace toward every creature will bring abounding peace to their possessor." As I was reading that, I was thinking about being patient with my family because sometimes when you're living with someone, well, I think every time you're living with someone, you see their weaknesses. My family sees my weaknesses more than anyone else in the world. But patiently learning to find the good in all and giving each other grace, I feel like that's what helps me and my family not to get in a fit every time things don't go the way I'd like. All right, and the last one I'm going to share for today is from page 30, and it said, and this is from the small book version, "A man should conceive of a legitimate purpose in his heart and set out to accomplish it. He should make this purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts. It may take the form of a spiritual ideal, or it may be a worldly object according to his nature at the time being, but whichever it is, he should steadily focus his thought forces upon the object which he has set before him. He should make this purpose his supreme duty and should devote himself to its attainment, not allowing his thoughts to wander away into ephemeral fancies, longings, and imaginings. This is the royal road to self-control and true concentration of thought. Even if he fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, as he necessarily must until weakness is overcome, the strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph." It kind of reminds me of that quote about daring greatly. and about even if we do fail, at least we're failing while we were out in the arena, right? My hope is that as I continue doing the work that I feel that I am meant to do, and as I can support you with the things that I'm good at doing, that then I can empower you to be able to more fully live your mission and to be able to really excel in the things that you are good at doing. There are a couple big things that I'm excited about for this year, and I don't know exactly how they're going to take shape, but I just want to announce them here to let you know. Number one is I'm excited to do more video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on YouTube or, social media, live videos or something like that. But I want to do more videos of processing papers and ideas and tasks and showing people how a command central really works. And I know it seems crazy that I want to record videos about processing and filing, but I honestly believe that there is no one in the world who loves filing and processing things more than I do. I get giddy about it because it's not just about filing papers, because that sounds kind of boring. It's about clearing the clutter, getting rid of the piles, and organizing your mind so you know where everything goes, and then you have that space to be able to love your family and live your mission and be able to grow as a person and be able to serve God more fully. I love that. And it happens while you're learning how to process an inbox, while you're learning how to clear your desk, while you're learning how to clear the counter. So getting those videos recorded and out there, that's a big goal for me. In fact, I just downloaded this special video sheet this morning online from an expert in videos. I'm super excited about it. So more is coming there. Also, if you listen to the last podcast, and if you've been following my podcast for a while, I've been really looking forward to launching our membership, which is called Arise. I'm not sure exactly when it's coming because Eric and I have to figure out a few things behind the scenes first, but we have been dreaming about it and planning for it, honestly, for years. If you open up my Evernote, I have a whole notebook for Arise, and I have sketches and ideas and screenshots and all these things I've been collecting in there. It's just waiting to be born, and so I'm really thrilled about it. I want to tell you just a few things. So first of all, it goes with our STEP program, Steps to Everyday Productivity, but it doesn't come as after or before. It's just kind of complementary. So if somebody is already in our STEP program, they would also be able to do Arise and be able to move forward and be lifted higher. If you're not in our STEP program, you could definitely still be in Arise, but STEP is going to make it easier for you. So you'll probably want to do both at some point. The difference is that our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, it's 8 modules. It's about how to build a command central, and it helps you get out of piles. But Arise then helps you use that command central to raise your level of living, to help you actually learn what you are capable of doing to increase your vision and kind of up-level each of us so that we are in a position to be able to give back more fully. So we're going to talk about how we're going to remove the friction points of life, how we're going to live our purpose, how we're going to wake up excited and go to bed content. I want you to be able to feel proud of yourself and be able to think, yes, I'm doing a good job. There's also community support and accountability, which really I feel like that's what Arise is all about. We have hundreds of thousands of people in the Learn, Do, Become community, but you guys don't really know each other. And so Arise is how we're going to help you get to know each other and help each other and strengthen each other. And then we will be bringing you beautiful, curated learning from books and podcasts and experts and conferences. I already got a whole list of people I'm reaching out to so you can have more clarity and focus in your life. This is something that I think is going to bring our community to life. I think it's going to be huge for me and Eric to have this place where we can continue to nurture our community. And of course, if you're not part of our paid membership, our paid programs, stay tuned to the podcast and the website because everything that we're going to be doing in our membership, it's just going to up-level the website and the community as well. I'm really excited, if you can't tell. As Eric and I keep talking and brainstorming and dreaming about this, we're getting really, really excited. It's a way that we believe we can not only serve you at our highest level, but that we can do work that fuels us and our family and something that we just think we can keep doing for the rest of our lives. That's what we're looking to build, is a community that we want to be part of for the rest of our lives. We love you. Thank you. Have an amazing day. We will have all the links, because I know I've talked about a ton of different links. Go to the show notes page, and you're going to go to learndobecome.com/episode 39. So it's just the word episode and then 39. Okay, thank you. Have an amazing day. We'll have links on that page to the emails to Zero Training, and I'll send you the link to the exact YouTube video I'm listening to, or not only watching, just listening to as I go to bed, listening to As a Man Thinketh. And we'll have links to where you can get the PDF or the Kindle version free online as well. Okay, thanks. Take care. Happy New Year. And we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.